What's good? I'm Nomad the Native, and you are tuned into The Snippet, a comfortable spot where we let the art spark the conversation. I link with artists, and we take a deep dive into the emotions and context that drive our creativity. So, join us as we connect, collaborate, and converse here on The Snippet. It's not a segment, it's not a glimpse, none of that. It's The Snippet, baby. What's good? I'm your host, Nomad the Native, and today I have DJ Bri Mafia, OG Bri. Can you do us all a favor and let the audience know, let the viewers know what you do? What do you do out here in these streets?
My name is DJ Bri Mafia, and I'm a DJ.
She's multifaceted. I tell you what, she's multifaceted.
I'll acknowledge that.
Receive it. All right, so as per usual, you brought me a snippet, and we're gonna get directly into that.
Okay.
Cool. Let me see. YCSWU?
You can't sit with us is what it stands for.
You can't sit with us, nigga.
This is fitting.
Here we go.
Let me comment. Put the pressure on these niggas so they switching up. That money kinda collecting dust, so now they tryna run it up. Y'all was riding dick when I was thugging in the mud. I told y'all hoes I had enough. Bitch, no, you cannot sit with us. No, you cannot sit with us. Yeah, ho, no, you cannot sit with us. Pockets fatter, money longer, but ho, I ain't no oozing. Y'all niggas washed up old and losing. Pick me's no one's choosing. Y'all don't be pressing shit.
Hey. Very direct. Live and direct. Which got me wondering, what was that about? Who was that about? What's going on?
I dropped a podcast with Smoke at the Shop a couple months ago now at this point, and it was a pretty it's a really good conversation. I actually got to sit with Alex and TJ from New Impressions, and I think a lot of people's perspective of me, their first perspective is me from Twitter. Mm-hmm. And they always think that I'm negative just because when I'm on Twitter, I'm not really the kiki haha lol. I don't use lol as a suppressor in conversations. So if I'm having dialogue with you, it may come off stern just because I'm not putting lol, but I'm really just having a regular conversation. There's no energy behind it. I'm not being aggressive. But anyway, I spoke on that, and there were some people who did not really fuck with what I had to say. So, they took it upon themselves to sneak diss me or whatever. But I'm they don't understand that podcast did way more good than it did bad. I really got to clear the air with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And it made the people that still did fuck with me look weird, because it's just if you're not getting the message, then we don't really know what to tell you type shit. So now I feel I've kind of reached this this level now where it's you can't come back from that. You can't sit with us. We over here. And granted, and I also think that there used to be people we want a seat at the table. Mm-hmm. We've made our own table. We made our own table now, and you can't sit with us. You sit at your table, we'll sit at our table. And it's nothing against you. It's really no beef, but it's just that we've done the work to be here, and you haven't done that. Don't try to do it now. I've given that grace, but I'm not giving that grace anymore.
I feel that. So because I be on Twitter, I be paying attention. I don't always be chiming into everything because I try to stay out the way. But I see how a lot of times what comes across as you being confrontational is you speaking up for what you believe, and it's kind of hard not to respect that. I may not always agree with the way that it comes across, but how could you not respect somebody saying hey, I think artists, not even just people, I think artists in this area deserve to be supported.
What is there, what's wrong? You're from Delaware. That's their response. And I'm just what does that have to do with anything?
Does that negate niggas from the DMV needing support or deserving? That's literally people's
favorite diss towards me is you're from Delaware. You're not even from here. I'm well, you're from here and you don't even fucking be outside. I don't understand. What does me being from Delaware have to do with how I show love?
It's probably just Niggas be dismissive.
Niggas are weird.
It's easy to dismiss somebody rather than to engage with the logical part of what the debate is. Because if I dismiss you, if I attack you, then it stops being about the debate, and I don't have to be logically sound. I don't have to be consistent. I don't got to stand for nothing. I can just knock you down, so you don't have to stand for nothing either.
Facts.
So, non-standing ass niggas can't sit.
Don't be a stand around ass bitch. That's one of my other songs.
Don't be a stand around ass bitch. Are all your songs disses?
Yeah.
Why?
It's because of Twitter. So like, Ice Spice Munch came out, and then like I was going through something at the time, so I was just like, you thought I was feeling you? That nigga bitch. And then my man's one great bastard was like, you need to make this a song. And like so many things transpired from that. So then I was running a recording studio at the time. Notorious Nick was like my main engineer, and I tweeted back to OGB. I was like, let me call Nick. And then I got in a studio with Nick, and Nick was like, we need to make Let Me Call Nick a tag. So if you hear Let Me Call Nick on any like Notorious Nick beats, that's me. And it came from a tweet. And Munch Freestyle also came from a tweet. So like I made Munch Freestyle because of that. Then I was on live one day, and I was just talking about how like all the parties in the DMV were just like, people were just like just standing around. Like everybody's just a stand around ass bitch. And somebody in the Instagram comments was like, on the live comments was like, you need to make this a song. It's like, all right, here we go again. Like, made another song, and like, like all my music is just really like responses to some shit in real time. So like that's why I can't wait to drop this project or whenever I do, and like drop visuals for it. It's just really just gonna be like a true story, like a timeline of like my life and just like things that have happened and me responding to them. Cause like I don't write, so it's like shit will happen. I literally will call Nick. And I say, we need to get in the studio. And then he'll just play beats for me, and then I just talk. Like, I don't even write. I just, like, get off what's on my chest. Yeah. Because I can't, if I get it off my chest and write it in real time, I'm going to be over it. I'm not even going to I'm not going to want to rap about it anymore. But if it's harboring, like, because I don't harbor my thoughts. Like, I'm a person that does shit in real time. So it's like, when it comes to music, I'm going to speak on that shit when I'm about to speak on it. Like, I'm not about to tweet about it. Like, I'll express myself, like, but when I really want to get that shit across, like, I get in the studio, I'm like, all right, I can get it off.
I'm not mad at that. As a rapper that, like, does a whole lot of writing, and I treat my music like a journal sometimes.
That's why I don't deem myself a rapper.
I respect that. Because
I feel like artists like you, as an advocate for, like, DMV artists, I know that y'all really invest in your artistry and write, because I think that, like, I like people who write because it's like double entendre. Like it's a verbal kind of like you really have to listen. Me, I'm just talking. You know, it's not gonna be like over your head. Like you don't have to like think about it. It's not one of those like ooh, like how Kendrick's doing with Drake right now. It's really just like shut up, bitch. Like straight up. Like I mean, it's nothing deeper than that. So like yeah, artists like you, I love your artistry, and I can tell that your pen is like on point, and you really dwell and dive into that, like for sure.
I appreciate that. Like, and I think, in the spirit of not being like elitist or exclusionary, like I think that there's space to call you a rapper just as equally as there's space to call me a rapper, even though we do different types of rap. Cause like there's space for this is on my fucking heart. I'm about to get in the fucking booth, and I got something to say, just so I can get it off my chest. And like that's valid. That's equally as valid. It's just they serve two different purposes. Yeah. And I'm okay just being like, what you do serves a different purpose than what I do, and this space for both. Bring a little something to potluck.
Yeah, we coexist.
Yeah. Even though I tend to not be a confrontational person, right?
I'm not a confrontational person.
But you be in conflict, not necessarily like at war, but like you find yourself in conflict more often.
No, they find themselves in conflict. I don't be finding myself in conflict.
Touche. All right. Because I think, like, one of the questions I wanted to ask was, like, do you view some of these conflicts or exchanges, so to speak, on, like, Twitter or whatever, opportunity to grow, whether it be in community or for yourself? Do you see these as opportunities to grow?
Oh yeah, for sure. So like during the pandemic, it's actually a reason that I have like severe anxiety now when people call my phone. I used to not be like that, but during the pandemic when I started, like, you know, I think that people didn't really know me because I stayed in my little, like, you know, underground circuit. But the pandemic made shit wide open because we were all home and just all had time. And I think that, like, I really got to sit down and kind of, like, time stopped. And I got to look at things around me and see things for what they were. And I was just like, wait a goddamn minute. Like, you know, and then spoke on it. And then people would call me like, hey, Bria, you might not want to speak on this, or you'll prevent yourself from getting these opportunities, or they'll blackball you, or they'll gatekeep. And I was just like, well, are we just not going to say anything? Are we just going to let people continue to, like, do what they do? So at first, like, it was a risk. Like, I really knew that could happen. But then it was the greatest reward after, because, like, I'm still the same advocate. So it's like, I don't mind speaking out on things, because at the end of the day, I don't disrespect people. You know, like, I think the difference between how I engage on social media and others is that, like, I just speak on what I observe. And then people take my observations and make it into something that's, like, very self-absorbed. Like, they don't consume it in the way that, like, I'm addressing it, and make it personal. And then from there, they attack me personally. Like, well, you're just a shitty DJ, or you're from Delaware. What does that have to do with me saying the politics fester into the underground scene? What does it have to do with me saying artists shouldn't be paying to play and promoters shouldn't be coming to this city and charging artists thousands of dollars to open up? What does that have to do with me saying, oh, the radio picks and choose who they want to support? What is that? What am I saying? Am I attacking somebody? Am I saying, yeah, this person fucking can't dress and they have a shitty personality and I hate what they do? I'm not attacking anybody. So it's like, but so now when people look at it, it's like, damn, Bri's Common saying the same shit for a long time, and people fuck with her because it's like, it's genuine, you know? So I don't really give a fuck about none of that, because I know that, like, and if I were, universe would spank me. Like, if I were doing something wrong, or like if I were, like, being negative, or I was, like, personally attacking, universe would say, all right, it's an equivalent exchange. Like, that's why I'm able to be the DJ I am, because I know that I'm putting out good. Like, I'm not putting out anything bad. So I don't really give a fuck about none of that social media shit.
I'm not. I feel you. Fuck that social media shit.
I don't really give a fuck. I'm just good. I've been on the internet since I was 12 years old. Like, I was talking to Caitlin about it yesterday. Like, I was on Zanga, then I was on MySpace, then I was on Facebook with a Twitter, then Facebook, and now my Twitter's just my hub. But, like, my very first Twitter I made in 2009, like, I had 1,000 followers and I was 18 years old. I had 70,000 followers on MySpace when I was 14. Like, I know how to utilize this shit to where it can work in my advantage. And a lot of people don't realize that, like, most people on social media are not personable. Like, I'm a very accessible person, and you know my personality. Like, this is not a persona. Like, OG Bri and Bri Mafia is not, that is me, nigga. Like, that's me, straight up. I think
that's the kill, like, with a lot of, like, social media interactions, is that, and that's why social media feels the way it does, like on a emotional or spiritual level or personal level. Like, people are just saying things or they're acting out because they can't interact with a regular person in the real world. Yeah. So, like, this is how they express them. This is how they learn to express themselves and get interaction and get some sort of attention.
Like, this dude called me a stupid bitch yesterday on Twitter. So I said, you got a sister? Or he was like, and you're from Delaware. So I was like, you got a sister? Because what are we talking about? You're not going to call me a bitch and disrespect where I'm from. And, like, we don't do nothing about it. And then I'm like, where you at? Like, but then when I said where I was at, he was like, oh, shit. And I was like, yeah, a lot of people don't know. It doesn't matter, like, where I live in Baltimore right now. It doesn't matter. But, like, then he apologized. Because he also saw a gang of people, like, you're calling a woman a bitch on the internet, like, for just talking about Drake. Are we okay?
No, we're not.
Are we all right?
We're not okay. Collectively, we're not okay.
like what the fuck is going on? So, yeah, it be shit like that. Like, people lack real in-person engagement. They lack healthy dialogue. You know, they lack real conversations with people and are very small-minded, and they live in a bubble on the internet. So it doesn't faze me.
Are you fueled by the conflict?
No, a lot of people think I am. Like, I just think that, like, I'm a type of person where it's like, if you say something personal about my craft, then I'm like, you know, anybody can say anything about me, like, as a, like, just shit that they see on face value, you know, like, maybe you talk about my teeth, maybe you talk about how I dress, maybe you talk about my wigs, like, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. But if you're like, you're a shitty DJ, I'm gonna shit on you, because I know I'm not a shitty DJ. Like, that does fuel me, because I know that's something I'm good and passionate about, and I can absolutely be like, all right, but anything else, like, people think that shit holds weight to me, like, it will alter my day, but nothing that happens on Twitter alters anything for me. It doesn't change a thing.
It's just water down your back type shit.
The confrontation, and it's, like I said, it's not even confrontation, because I'm not coming at nobody. Everybody says all the time, why do people feel so comfortable, like, disrespecting you for your views? Or I'm like, because niggas think I'm sweet. Like,
I also think like, people are invested in the ideas of the way things are run or the way things look, and regardless of whether or not things are healthy or actually beneficial, like, it's just like, well, I want to be on the radio one day, so I'm gonna defend the radio, regardless of the fact that they're not necessarily engaging with the community the way, or I like this particular person and I want to be able to tap into the resources, or, you know what I mean, whatever they represent, and I identify with it. So even though I'm not connected to them, but you attacking them by proxy, I'm gonna, like, try to. It's like,
yeah,
it's maybe like over identification with something that's not the self, like, but. I don't know, man.
Then people, I think that, like, then I'm proof of just, like, do you. I think that's been the perception of DMV for the longest, is that, like, you have to align yourself with these type of DJs, with these artists, and these particular social circles in order to have certain opportunities. And I'm just like, but think about how they're even like that within their own circles. You know, like, I'm proof that, like, you can be tapped into Baltimore artists, DMV artists, you can work at venues, you can work at lounges, you can be at bars. Like, there's really, like, there's no, you know, there's just, like, there's no, like, stopping point. Like, you can literally make yourself accessible to, like, what you need in order to be the artist you are, but you don't have to align yourself with certain things. Like, and I'm proof that, like, I fuck with everybody. Like, and it's, like, you don't have to be, like, or even just, like, certain entities that don't fuck with me, I don't be like, hey, that may work for you, but don't think that, like, just because I have an issue with it, that you shouldn't do that, or think that they might not fuck with you. And if they don't fuck with you because of that, then you weren't aligned to begin with.
And you can do something else that is aligned with who you are, what you want, Yep. I feel seen.
How would you tell somebody to silence the noise and all the negativity? Because it looks like you go through it a lot. So if we had to learn a lesson from you.
Just do you, because, like, there are gonna be people that fuck with what you do. So just because that person may not fuck with it doesn't mean that person won't fuck with it. Like, you know, I think that, like, it's also, like, for instance, like, people make themselves accessible to, like, if you're an artist, I gotta get my music on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, like, I gotta put my music on all these things, because you just, it's like bait, you just want somebody to bite. Versus if you, like, went to a pond of koi fish and you know, like, hey, this is my tribe of fish, versus, like, you throwing yourself entirely to the ocean. Like, you know that, oh, the koi fish are fucking with me, I'm gonna keep fucking with the koi fish. And then from there, the koi fish are gonna tell their people, like, hey, you know, this person is fucking with us, and that's how you build a tribe. But the moment that you, like, you know, you make yourself accessible to everybody and think that, like, oh, well, maybe just something, like, I think that people have been, like, that's been the perception for so long. You know what I'm saying? Like, just do you, because somebody's going to fucking like it. But don't make yourself likable to every fucking body. That's just not realistic. That's why Drake is going through what he's going through right now.
You can't make yourself likable to everybody.
Literally. Like, it's literally why he's going through what he's going through right now, because it's, like, and is it genuine? You know what I'm saying? Like, genuineness and authenticity is that shit is gonna come naturally.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that a lot. Grounding yourself in what you want, grounding yourself in what fits for you, what makes you happy, as opposed to like trying to appeal to people. Like, because the more you try to appeal to people, regardless of whether it's in alignment with you, it pulls you out of alignment. It pulls you out of authenticity, because you're constantly trying to perform for them rather than express yourself or be. Hey, dog. I don't want to wrap you up for too long. I appreciate you for pulling up.
Yeah, thanks.
This
for
was
having
really
me.
cool. So, once again, to the camera, to the people, this was the snippet, not a segment, not a clip, none of that. This is the snippet, baby. And y'all be easy.
I have my glasses on, so I don't even know what
You
I'm looking at.
Look, we're looking at this one right here. This one right here.
I'm squinting a little bit.
No face, no case. All right, y'all. Peace.
Yeah. That was cute.
Afford it to make shit quiet if you wanna get noisy. Told y'all hoes to switch it up. Yeah, it's giving boring. That bullshit we ignoring. I gave y'all hoes a warning. Bitch, no, you cannot sit with us.
Hey, yo. Hey, son. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if so, then comment, like, subscribe, follow, disagree, whatever. I mean, this is a show by the artist for the artist. So, if you want to be featured, just hit us. There ain't nothing but an email or a DM away. Until next time. Peace.